All right, so I thought this would be a pretty good background for today's video, at least for the topic of it. This is kind of a continuation, a part two, essentially, for my last video on like why I'm done with programming and everything. Somewhat, but not really. Um, you don't necessarily have to watch it to kind of get this video, but basically in this video I want to talk about how I travel and just how I do everything, especially on a budget. And because I know there's a lot of people out there who talk about like you need like thousands of dollars and a lot of money to travel. That's bullshit. You really don't. You really don't need that much money. It's actually pretty astounding when people talk about that shit. But I really want to not necessarily tell you guys, but actually show you guys. That's because I find that to be a lot more practical. Anyways, for those who don't know, or I guess perhaps first time on the channel, I'm actually originally from the United States. I've been traveling around predominantly Asia for quite some time now, and definitely changed up my whole life. You can click back a couple videos before this, and you'll see I got a couple videos talking about this type of stuff. And but yeah, so obviously there's some caveats to this. You of course have to have some sort of like remote income or something. It doesn't really have to be much, and honest to God, I truly mean it doesn't have to be much. For me, I fall in a pretty, I guess, a weird place because I tried finding a job, both like online and in person for like just many years. I talked about in my last video. I've tried to get or apply for multiple like program like IT related positions, both at like big companies, small company, mainly smaller companies, but for pretty much everything from game development, web development. And software engineering. I mean, fuck it, you name it. And I couldn't really get anything. I've tried for in person as well, jobs, even like I guess like blue collar jobs, like janitors and things like that. I even applied like a couple of months ago. I remember applying for jobs that were like farming jobs. Like literally, I was like going to be on a farm picking like fruits and vegetables. um, if you couldn't guess, I didn't get that. If you didn't get the note, but memo, but thankfully not. But anyways, so I'm just gonna lay down a little bit more context as to how I got here and to how like where I am now in the position I am. So as I was kind of mentioning before, I applied for a lot of positions, what be it remote or in person, so even like some hybrid positions, like all types of different jobs, whether that's obviously as I mentioned like IT, some farming positions, um, custodial, even some like customer support job, like just pretty much the list goes on, right? A lot of different jobs I applied for. Tried tailoring my resume to like those specific jobs and like rewriting my cover letter uniquely to fit the job and the description of it. Didn't really, as again, had really no luck with that. Did that for a couple years, and and this realization came to me when I was living in Vancouver. I lived up in Canada for a little over a year, and I realized, and at the time I was doing Uber Eats and DoorDash because it was like the only thing I could actually fucking do, and that didn't require like I don't know, that could actually fucking accept me. Um, so and I came to this realization. I was like, I might as well like if I'm gonna do something and like have a job and hate it and still struggle, I might as well just do something I actually like and still struggle. I just thought that was like a no brainer to me. So that's why I got into freelancing with the help of one of my friends and stuff, and did a lot of like what do you call them, like web development, software development, and all that. And so that's pretty much how I got into that whole space. It's kind of for a little bit more context. That is all right. So that's just a little bit more of like context and stuff into like where like how I pretty much got here and etc. Um, and pretty much also I wanted to add as well, while I was also traveling, I also picked up a little bit of jobs, like a little bit of work. Like I remember in when I was living in Tokyo, when I was in Japan, I was a little bit of like a salesperson for some guy who owned the company in China. I actually made no money off that, just because I'm a horrible salesperson. But I also got a janitorial position while I was in Taiwan, when I was living in Taipei for a little bit, made a good amount of money off that. But so you could still travel and still of course get a little bit of money coming in like that. But really freelancing, or as again some sort of like remote online income, is absolutely the best way to go. I mean, if you're good at sales, you pretty much up and leave. So with all the initial context out of the way, I actually probably should have said this at the beginning, but of course, this video is obviously for people who want to travel. I know some people just click on random videos about topics they're not even interested in, and then comment, "Oh, I'm not interested. Oh, this topic's dumb or retarded." I'm like, I don't know why people do that. I don't know. I just had to throw that in there. Anyways, so obviously it's very cheap to live overseas. You don't need much money. Like this apartment that I'm at right now in Vietnam. Um, well, I guess I'm actually at the apartment comp on the roof of the apartment complex. It's 220 USD per month, and everything's included, all the utilities. And obviously, I like it. It's obviously pretty close to the city, the downtown Saigon, so it's it's nice. The food here is very cheap. My average meal is about $1 USD, sometimes $1.50. I know for those who like it's called like going out, like getting coffee or like bubble tea and things like that. I've spent no more than like $2 max on bubble tea here in like downtown, which is insane. Because like in Vancouver, that should be like $11 easily, or even back in my hometown, back in the U.S., it'd be like about $7 or $8. And this leads me into my next topic, which is I can't really like well, of course with the money I make now, some people might be asking, why do I travel? Obviously I just partially because I mentioned, like, I'd rather do something I like and still struggle, etc. But I just can't really live in the United States, partially from a financial standpoint as well. I actually don't make enough money to live in the US. It's actually cheaper to move to like Vietnam. I remember living in Malaysia, even in Taiwan when I lived there, that was dirt cheap. Um, Japan, believe it or not, when I lived in Tokyo, I lived in Tokyo for 6 months, and my apartment was 400. Actually, it was around, yeah, it was around 400 USD with all utilities included. It was a share house and stuff, but I got like my own fridge and like the whole shared kitchen and everything. But it was really nice. And now that was in downtown Tokyo. So I just want you to I kind of want to lay that down to share. Like it's not that expensive. Like you don't really need that much money, and because I know there's a lot of people who want to travel. I know I get this a lot as well. People always say I'm lucky, or I what's it called? I don't know. Got like a lot of money, or that's the common um, conception people have. Like I just have like lots of money. I don't. I just make it work. So, but another thing as well is about the whole back to the U.S. thing is like I wouldn't really want to live in the United States even if I did make enough money. And this is for I'm gonna make a whole other video on this as well. This is also coming up on the channel. I thought about kind of adding some stuff in this video about that, but honestly, I feel it would be a disservice if I even mentioned like even like half the stuff I want to mention in the upcoming video I want to make about that. But that's pretty much most of the things I wanted to cover in this video. Like you don't really need a lot of money to travel. You just need some sort of basic income. Right now, I make about less than $300 per month USD. Imagine that. But and I mean, I do have a little bit of a savings, not much, but I'm working up on some other things. I and I know for those people who also are going to mention, oh well, do you have your family, or you have like, I don't know, like a backup plan or something. I know I have made some friends both in the United States and in Canada that I guess could they have mentioned they would buy me a plane ticket back if anything, I've ran out of money or whatever. I guess I do have that as a fallback, perhaps my family, but like even then, I don't ask any of them for money. I don't ask my friends or my family for any money. It's just all me. So, but my biggest thing though, what I try to preach is I try to show like how I do it, not necessarily tell how I do it. I feel like it's more educational. I feel like you can get a lot more from that. Please, if any of you have questions or anything about how I do, basically anything, like in regards to like traveling and getting by on such a like a low and basically how to make your money stretch, right? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Then please message me. I'll leave my Twitter, my Instagram. I'll also leave my Discord as well if you want to contact me. I'm my whole thing with this channel and with the upcoming videos on this is I want to really show people that they can really actually live out their dreams. Like this whole thing of like living abroad and doing what you want. Not necessarily. I mean, of course, there does come hardships with that, obviously, which I'll talk about in future videos. But this whole idea of living life on your own terms, like calling your own shots, really isn't out of your realm of possibility. You actually have a lot more a lot more power over your situation than what you really think. So once I realized that, I pretty much started, yeah, living life on my own terms. I mean, it is rough at times. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. It is tough. There are times where I literally want to give up at times, but just keep going. Especially for what it's worth, I I do like it a lot more. I mean, it beats the hell out of all the other blue collar jobs and shit I've done, and just all the unfulfilling work. And this is partially what I want to do. I like teaching people things. And I like to to really inspire people, and that's kind of what I'm moving towards with this channel. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. As again, I actually got my trusty notes here this time to keep me a little bit on track. But yeah, that's pretty much all. Fuck yeah, that's just about it, really. Um, Stay tuned for the future videos. Again, you all have any questions or comments, concerns, please leave them. Drop me a message if anything. I don't know, anything concerns you, or I don't know, that's it for the video. Fuck it, we're out of here. Peace out, baby.